Hi, I'm Bob Willbanks with Ambassadors for Business. So, as Ambassadors for Business has been growing, God continues to just give me certain messages and downloads that I believe He wants me to share with the members and all those that we come into contact with. So, the latest was just a realization that all my life I've been living my life in a lead follower, get out of the way type mode. And I know you've probably seen that saying around, lead follower, get out of the way. And it sounds great. I mean, it's basically leadership, right? Take charge, get out there, lead, have a plan. You know, if you don't have a plan, you're going to be part of someone else's, those types of things. And, as I went through life, that's pretty much how I was. It was all about achievement. It was all about things. It was all about accomplishment. Nice cars, big house, the clothes you wear, jewelry, nice trips. It was all materialistic type of rewards that started to really define who I was. And as I'm out there in that lead follower, get out of the way mentality, the other big thing that happened with that is that I lost my identity. My identity became those things. It became the success. It became the job. It became the status. And I lost myself in that. So as Ambassadors for Business came forth, and if you've happened to have seen the equipping video, talk a little bit about how that came forth, I started to really evaluate what my priorities in life were. And if my identity truly is in Christ, those things that mattered so much to me really can't matter like that anymore. So where's the motivation come from, and how do we really start to walk with Christ in our daily life while still being productive at work? And so right after I received that equipping acronym, which is engage, question, understand, identity, principles, purpose, integrate, network, and grow, which is the why behind Ambassadors for Business. Right after I received that, I'm reading my daily reading in the Bible, and I come across Matthew 11, 28 through 30, the verses that basically have Christ saying, take on my yoke, for my burden is light. And for some reason, I can't get that out of my head. I mean, I've read that passage probably at least 30 times in my life in my daily readings. And it never impacted me like that before. I always kind of pictured it like, Christ comes along and says, take on my yoke, for my burden is light. And he's just going to kind of drag us around, and we just rest in him, because rest is part of that passage as well. As I struggled with that and started trying to peel back the layers of the onion, I thought, you know what, I need to figure out what this yoke really is all about. So I went out and I started studying the yoke, and I find out, that it's really for sharing the burden and sharing that load, and it's a team experience. In fact, it was pretty interesting. I was looking at Clydesdale horses, and one Clydesdale horse can pull 8,000 pounds, where when you hook them together with a yoke, they can generally pull right around 24,000 pounds. So 3 to 1 is pretty impressive, right? So I'm like, that's really cool. So Christ expects us to lead while we're following him. So we got to do both those things at the same time. Well, how can we possibly do that? How can you lead and follow at the same time? Well, only by developing that intimate relationship with Jesus Christ can that actually happen. So how do we develop an intimate relationship with Jesus Christ? Well, it's my opinion anyway, that we do that first off by being in the Word on a daily basis. Taking that time to get quiet with the Lord and having an adequate prayer life and communicating with him and communing with him on a daily basis is just, to me, it's the most important leg in that stool that we want to build here. Then number 2 is small group. You've got to have a small group that you're accountable to. Otherwise, it's just too hard going along life on your own. Even if you are with God, there's times where you just need the help of that small group for accountability purposes and to be built up and to celebrate the successes that go on in life. And then third, I really truly believe that you need to be committed and actually engaged with your local church. So if you can put those three legs on the stool, now you build a solid foundation and intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. So what happens when that intimate relationship actually occurs? When the two Clydesdale horses are yoked together and they've been trained appropriately, okay, and they develop that intimate relationship, believe it or not, they pull 32,000 pounds, so 4-1. And I think that's what God's saying is, I want you to lead while you're following me, but I also need you to get out of the way so God can do his work. So I've changed my whole thing in life from lead, follower, get out of the way, to lead, follow, and get out of the way. Give it a try. I think you'll find peace, rest, and joy in doing so.